Okay. Oh my god. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. Sword Art Online? Sword Art Online, bro? It's either you love it or you hate it. A lot of people already know this. If you watch Sword Art Online, you either love it or you hate it. Either you think it's good or you think it should burn in hell. But let me tell you something, man. All right, so look, I had completely forgotten the Alization arc was starting soon, right? I completely forgot about it. It was pushed out of my mind. I forgot completely about it. It just disappeared. I went on Crunchyroll and seeing it was up, and I'm like, word. So I went to watch it, and let me just say, if they continue making episodes as bomb as this first episode was, there should be for no reason on God's green earth that if this. Now, I don't know where I heard this from, but I heard that, or I've seen somewhere that this is supposed to be the final season for Sword Art Online, which, if it is, if you continue making episodes like this shit is going to be a banger. End of discussion. If I wanted Sword Art Online to go out anyway, I feel like this would be the season to do that. Okay, so look, let me just go over this real quick. All right, I'm not going to go into like a great summary of the story, but I will bring up bits and pieces of the first episode that happened because trust me when I say that do yourself a favor. If you don't like Sword Art Online, right? If you don't like Sword Art Online, at the very least, have a friend of yours, have somebody get you caught up with Sword Art Online, and then go watch the Alization arc. At least watch the first episode of the Alization arc. When I say this shit was some heat, bruh. Let me just run into it. So one thing, watching the Alization arc, I like about it already is like it didn't just jump us straight into like the nitty gritty of things. It took its time. It's that's one thing that I always had a problem with Sword Art Online. It doesn't take its time with things. It feel like a lot of things are rushed. It feel like things that could be awesome aren't awesome. It just runs through everything at high speeds like it's Sonic. But this one took its time. Like you felt it when Kirito was in the world with Alice and Yujiro, that felt amazing. When he was in Gun Gale with all of his friends, that felt amazing. And when he was in the real world, that felt amazing. Like it felt like it felt like the creators and the writers, they all sat down. They were like, all right, look, come together. All right, the first part, the Ironclad arc, it was all right. It was all right standard wise. You get to you get to Alpine, and it's like, okay, we dropped the ball on that motherfucker. Don't we can't even say shit for that. You get the gun gala, it's like, it was cool action wise, but we gave away the villain with the opening, so I mean, we can't really do shit with that. You get the Mother Rosario, they're like, this shit was some heat. We need more of this than we need of everything else, right? Then you get the Alization, and it's like, let's take everything that worked from the other seasons and put it all in one. This is Alization, right? So one thing, so my God, I'm just everywhere with this joint. So one thing that I did enjoy, right, was the fact of the matter that like when we were going through the Alization arc, it like gave us how do I put this? It gave us time to see these characters and bond with them. Because to be for real with you, I never read. So I knew the manga was out for some time, right? Never read the manga, right? Never fully dived into it and was like, oh hey, well let me run through this real quick and see what it's talking about. I always avoided it, right? The only manga I read was the progressive manga, and that's because I had learned that they were the precursor to the games that had came out. Hollow Fragment, Lost Song, Hollow Realization, and Fatal Bullet. I realized that was the precursor to all of them, so I read that. And now I'm like, damn, I might gotta read the Alization manga because that shit was some heat. I want more of that. All right, so they gave us time with these characters. They gave us time with Kirito, Alice, and Yujiro. They're great friends and whatnot. And, they go on this little adventure, da 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 da. And like I said, the only real knowledge I get with these characters is like from the DLC from Hollow Realization and the DLC from Fatal Bullet. That being, and the only knowledge I'm getting from that is they're from another world, another type of virtual world. I don't know what virtual world, but I know, hey, we're from another world. We know Kirito. He's a good friend of ours, and this, that, and the third. That's all. That's all I'm getting. So I'm like, okay, cool. But you come over here and it's like, yeah, they're childhood friends and whatnot, and da 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 da. Da. And at first, the way it portrayed, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so how is this playing out? Because this looks like an old memory, right? But then it keeps going, and it's like, no, it's not an old memory. This is a whole virtual world that even they can access to an extent. So you keep going with that, you keep going with that, you run through the whole thing. Alice gets kidnapped, right? I'm not going to spoil nothing, just Alice gets taken. Kirito and Yujiro try to fight. Yujiro gets stuck due to a system error. Alice, she gets taken. Kirito is pinned down as she gets taken. And it was just interesting. Move over to Gungyo for a little bit. You see the whole squad. You see like Sinon and Klein and Elizabeth and Silica. You see like all of them going against these guys. And then might I just say that let me tell you something. When I seen their outfits in Gun Gale, I'm like, dude, their outfits are fucking banging right now. I had this weird thing, right? Let me just say this. I had this weird thing where I was like, your outfits are amazing, but when I seen Kirito still rocking his I fought Death Gun outfit, I'm like, I kind of wish you had your Fatal Bullet attire though. Like out of anyone, everyone else's outfit still looks amazing, but you, Fatal Bullet, you need that, right? So watching them do their thing, it was pretty cool. It was pretty amazing just watching them, go to town on his squad, and then Kirito and Asa come out. And one of the most badass moments of this episode, Kirito's blocking bullets, right? He's doing this little flip and whatnot, blocking bullets, and then Asuna just comes out of nowhere like, "Hey, yo, tag me in. I want a little bit of that pie. I want a little bit of that action too." And she started blocking bullets. They both looking like Jedi masters right now. This shit looking like it's looking amazing. So they do their thing, and you got this guy. He's talking to his boss, the guy who's leading the group. He's like, "What? So you just want to leave on a loss? This is how you just want to end things?" The guy's like, "We leaving. We out, right?" So man, and then you get to IRL, and they're talking about like Kirito got a new side job now, and Asuna shows up at phone and is like showing it to Sinon because they talking to her about the next bullet tournament, and she's like, "Yeah, I can watch Kirito's heart monitor, and he's like, "Yeah, I got something implanted in me because of my new job. They said it was easier than electrodes. I think the word is the thing that they put on you to monitor your heart rate." So he was like, "Yeah, it's easier than that. So this, that, and the third." And I'm like, "Whatever, do you?" That shit was, whatever, do you? Just know that when you did the Gun Gale arc, them shit saved you from death. But we ain't gonna talk about that. So it keeps going and going and going and going, and then they're talking, and he's bringing up the new machine they're talking about, which supposedly is supposed to put someone. How do I put this? It put them in a state of, if you've ever been sleep, have you ever been sleep and you just out of the blue had a dream that you felt like lasted for hours, but the whole time it was like 30 minutes max? They're pretty much like, okay, this is how the new machine worked for Full Dive, and that playing the game in this world, which I can easily say, like from what he experienced, like from what he's saying, it's like he was there for 3 days and he has like months under his belt, like multiple months, right? But in and I don't know if this was like consistency or whatnot, or this how the actual manga went. But Sinon, sorry, my nose is like fucking itchy always. But Sinon was like, how many hours do you think you have under that game? He was like, about 2 to 3 months, maybe. I don't really know. He's just like a few months, which easily my nose is fucking killing me with this itch. Jesus. But yeah, he's like, a few months tops, and which is bullshit because if you watch the beginning, he's like, when he's watching in the beginning when he's chopping down a tree with Yu-Gi-Oh, he's like, we've been chopping this thing down for a year and 2 months now, and we're not even doing nothing to it. Which if he's been playing it for only 3 days, I did the math. At the very most, 4.5 months per play session. All right, every game, right? My nose is killing me, and I cannot explain why with this itching. But anyways, if you ever played a game, right? All gamers can relate to this. So you sat down, you put in your favorite game, and you just go to town on this thing, right? You run through the story, you run through character quests, side quests, getting these new items, these new upgrades, getting money, all this. You run through the story a little bit more. You want to know what it's about, do a few boss battles. It's probably like 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you start, but then when you finish, it's 12. It's 12 at night, and you like, damn, where did my day go? Apparently apparently that's what Kirito's like. He's like, this is the full equivalent of like what that's like. And it was just interesting because it's like, imagine that on a gaming scale, bruh. And one thing that I will say though, this first season did not first season. I'm all over the place. This first episode did a good job at pretty much answering questions that you may have had. Like for example, ordinal scale came out, and I seen on Twitter, some people were talking about like, oh, they mentioned ordinal scale that wasn't even in the manga. I don't even know if ordinal scale had its own manga. I think it was just a movie that came out. It was like right there, right? So ordinal scale comes out, and the whole events of that movie happen, and I'm looking at myself, I'm like, so is ordinal scale, like in the beginning of the episode, I'm like, so is ordinal scale in canon, or what's that about? Like, is it just a spin-off series that happens, right? They reference that, and they're like, yeah, when you enter, Kirito's telling Sinan and Asuna, he's like, when you enter the machine, you play it, and then when you leave, it's like you have no trace of what happened there. It's like the memories that happen in that world stay in the machine. And Sinan is like, what? It's like the Ogma? He's like, no, nothing like the Ogma. Like he's like, he gets worried and he starts defending himself. He's like, it's nothing like the manga. I said the manga. It's nothing like the Ogma. It's just like, it's not like it's taking different parts of memory. Like, I can still remember everything. It's just when it comes to trying to remember what happened in that world, that's where the issue comes in. I can't remember none of that. And he's like, I guess it's for confidentiality and all of that, but just I can remember everything from now to like a month ago, but when it comes to this world, it's like, don't nothing come to mind, right? Like, there's nothing there, right? So this continues on. Eventually, they leave and and you get like a lot is thrown at you within the span of a few minutes after the whole meeting with Sina. Kirito and Asuna start talking. They stop, and Asuna's like, "Hey, so you still plan on going to America?" And I was like, "What? He's going to America? When the fuck was this thrown out?" And Kirito's like, yeah, I still plan on going there. Their full dive technology is further than it is in Japan, which I'm gonna be honest with you, and I hate saying this as an American, but that's some bullshit. The day we ever get more technologically advanced than Japan, let me tell you something. Japan will be how do I say this? A neo perfect city with more machine applications in it before America even comes up with the concept of that. Like by the time America is like, you know what we should do? Neo futuristic city with pretty much machine ran everything. We look over at Japan. These motherfuckers are like, we did it first, bitch. Get on our level. Like I get thanks for giving America some props, and man, like, hey, we're in this anime, we're further ahead in full dive technology than Japan, but it's like, let's be honest here. Let's be real honest here. If it ever comes down to it, Japan will more than likely be more technologically superior than us. So it is what it is. But yeah, Kirito's like, yeah, man, I'm going to Japan. I'm studying full dive. I want to be a part of that. And in my head, he starts stuttering, getting ready to ask Asuna a question. In my head, I'm like, he's about to. In my head, for some reason, I'm like, he's about to break up with Asuna because he don't want to do the long term thing and make her feel like she's waiting on him. Da da da. But he's like, how about you just come to America with me, right? Just come to America with me. And she's like, you already know I'm gonna follow you to the edge of the earth. And I'm like, damn, like, to be fair, y'all better get ready for Asuna because she's smart as shit. Anyone who's looking for a job in her profession, you might as well back out because it's gonna be a rough fight ahead. So all of that happens. Eventually, Kirito in the game. Eventually, Kirito and Asuna keep walking, and he turns around. He's like, "So you're the person who was stalking us outside of Agio's cafe." Dude comes out. He's like, "Yeah, man. Since you got my partner Red Eyed Zaza in jail, I'm the only member of Laughing Coffin left." And it's the and now if you watch, the Gun Gale arc, you realize, holy crap, that's you know, Def Gun's partner, right? The guy who was in real life going around poisoning people. It was either in real life or it was, I don't know. I think I got their roles mixed up, but I think the guy, I don't know. I could be mixing them up. The guy, more than likely, the guy Kirito encountered was probably the guy Kirito encountered was more than likely the guy who was playing as Def Gun. I could be wrong, so do as you will with that. But yeah, so Kirito, as an instinct, he hears laughing call. He goes to reach for his sword like he's in Ironclad, and he's like, and he comes to the realization like, shit, that is not there. Like we are in reality. So the dude starts laughing. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Without your sword, yeah, you ain't shit. You ain't shit in the real world. So so Kirito starts bugging him too. He's like, yeah, well, guess what? You ain't got your poison weapons from that game. He's talking, nah, I got mines right here. And he pulls out the syringe that the dude who was stalking Sinon in the Gun Gale arc pulled out to try to, kill her. So, yeah, it's looking bad now. Kirito goes to engage the guy as the guy rushes towards him, pushes Austin out of the way. He's like, nah, get out here, just run. And then he gets stabbed, falls over. He stabs the other guy in the leg, he falls over, and that's just the end of the episode. And I was like, yo, if we could keep if we could keep something like this going, this is gonna be some heat, right? So my whole thing is, where is it going to go from here, right? Like I said, I haven't read the manga. I don't know where it's going to go. In my head, I have this idea of, yo, where it should go from here, as my nose continues to be itchy as shit. I'm like, where it should go from here is that what it should do is, how do I put this? What it should do is, right, Kirito, after this event, right, episode 2, Kirito's rushed to the hospital, right? And he's put under the device that he was in, to like sedate him in a sense. The device he was in to see Alex Yu-Gi-Oh. What I think would be amazing if it happened is, as I continue thinking in my bed, goddamn. But what I think should happen, right, which would be amazing, is like, if this really is like the final season for Sword Art Online, right? This is the finale right here. It's a make or break move. Kill him off. Kill him off at the end of this series. If this is going to be our make and break, if this is going to be our make and break right here, kill him off, right? And this is how I would say you would do it, right? So let's say he's in the hospital, sedated. Sedated. The poison is still rushing through his body, right? He's in the game, and he's like, he remembers everything from what happens from Alice being kidnapped and this, that, and third. He's like, Yu-Gi-Oh, me and you, we gonna go rescue Alice, right? We gonna go rescue her. This turned into one long adventure. This is the whole season. He's going out there to rescue her, right? And every now and again, in between episodes, we flip back to Asuna and the gang, and they're sitting out there, and they're waiting to know what's happening to Kirito. So, but the main focus is that Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh, they're going to go find and save Alice, right? End of it, they save Alice. They go back to the tree, right? They go back to the tree, and it's made very clear that Kirito won't make it, right? It's made very, like, the anime would make it very clear, yo, these are Kirito's final moments right here. He's not gonna make it. There is no he's pulling through this, right? The poison's going to kill him. So what ends up happening is Kirito, Alice, Yu-Gi-Oh. They're all at the tree. Alice probably got some lunch or whatever. Kirito and Yu-Gi-Oh, they're sitting there, and they continue chopping the tree, right? And then it just fades to black, right? Signifying that that's them closing Kirito's eyes. Kirito is dead. He's no more, right? And then it just cuts back to the real. It just cuts back to the real world, and the doctors are telling us in the group that Kirito is dead. And then it may cut like a few years into the future, where it's like not even to the future, not even a few years, but more so maybe like a few months or when it cuts. it cuts a certain amount of time into the future where not everybody is finished grieving, but everyone's at a place now where like they can sit here and they can say one final goodbye to Kirito because he died, and everybody just breaks their own way, right? Everybody's like, we're still friends, we're just breaking apart though. Like we're keeping our distance. And I feel like that would be an amazing end to Sword Art Online, right? Like the main character, you've been through him through Aincrad, through Alfheim, through Gun Gale, through what else? Gun Gale, fucking Alfheim again with Yuki, Ordinal Scale, and all this other stuff. And it's like you've been with him from the beginning the death game started. You've been with him since the death game started. Now watch as he dies in the game, right? I feel like that would be amazing. That would be beautifully done. Like, hey, you died, like, and it would be a sense of like he died with no regrets, right? Like at least in my head, that's how I feel like it would go. It's like it's the he died with no regrets thing. It's like, hey, I was here, you know, like he's like the only regret I didn't want to have is that I wasn't able to save Alice. I wasn't able to save her when she got kidnapped. But now in the end, I was able to save her, and me, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Alice are all sitting here as friends once again under this tree, right? Like we did many times before in the past. I feel like that would be beautiful. I feel like if done properly, it could be a beautiful send off to not only Kirito, but the rest of the Sword Art Online gang, right? The rest of the Ironclad squad, whatever you want to call them. It would be a beautiful send off, right? It would just be amazing. All right, but that's just my theory, right? Like how this is just gonna lead into like not just into the next episode, but until like the rest of this season. Because from what I hear, like they're doing the whole Alization arc. I don't know how long the Alization arc is. Apparently, it's quite lengthy. My nose is fucking killing me with this itching right now. But yeah, apparently the Alization arc is quite lengthy. So I would love to see where this goes from that point forward. Like maybe my theory is right, maybe my theory is wrong. If you read and many of you watching reads the Alization, who's reading or who have read the Alization arc, maybe later on y'all can be like, hey, after the second episode, you can just get on my ass and be like, hey, you're wrong. That's not how the fuck that went. It didn't go that way. Things like that. That's just my thing. All right, that's all right. So we're gonna put Alization down, and we about to talk about hold up. Why the case? The case is over here. Give me a second. We're gonna talk about this shit here. Cause this shit here, this is a make or break for the SAO games. That, my friends, I'm willing to tell you. Okay, so if you haven't been following, not only is the Alization arc, starting, but Fatal Bullet is about to come to an end, right? So as of right now, supposedly within I said mid October, mid November, an update is supposed to come out for Fatal Bullet, right? Which is supposed to have all this stuff in it, and then and and then in January, if I remember correctly, I think the date was January 19th. It's one of the two. But sometime in January, sometime in January, we're supposed to be getting the expansion pack for the expansion pack for Fatal Bullet. Now, here's my thing, right? Fatal Bullet is an interesting game on its own, right? And let me tell you, I've been meaning to talk about this shit for a minute. But Fatal Bullet, it's an interesting game on its own, right? I'm not gonna say it's not. It has its flaws, it has its pros, it has its cons, it has what everything has. It has its pros and cons, right? It's good and bad. All right. But when we get to this DLC, I feel like the story could have been done so much better. Not the story per se, but more so it's the execution of it because it wasn't all that good. It's not all that good. DLC 3 ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm like, all right, DLC 4, here we come. We're gonna finish the story off. That's what I'm thinking. DLC 4, here's the story. Nah, they dropped the bombshell. They're like, hey, no, here's DLC 4 is fucking expansion pack. So I'm like, God damn it. And wait for it. Not on the DLC. It's not on the season pass if you bought it. Which, if you feel like a sucker now, like me, welcome to the damn club. Oh wait, but that's not even the best part. See, the best part is that I'm almost 100% certain this story doesn't even finish. Either this story doesn't finish, or it will lazily finish the story we already been going through, right? So if you played Fatal Bullet, you know the whole story. Copies of people started appearing. You eventually go to investigate. You find out RFAS unit by the name of Liberté has been going around and creating an army to go take down the Glocken, because apparently the Fugal, which is the ship that comes in, uh, which is a ship that comes in the Forgotten Woods area, the final area for Fatal Bullet, comes in and it's like, hey, the Fugal and the Glocken, they're enemies. They went to war with one another. The Glocken beat the Fugal left, and that's why it came back in this update. Just little lore bits. It's like, so anyways, Liberté is building an army to take on the Glocken, and your team stops her, and it's like, so what now? Like who activated Liberté, and why would they want this war to continue? Right? That's pretty much how I'm like. And they do not. They end that shit on a cliffhanger, and that's why I'm like, this expansion pack is either going to not answer this question or answer it lazily, because for some fucking reason they brung Sachi back. Why do you bring her back? Listen to me, okay? Alright, we already have Edgy and Yuna coming in from Ordinal Scale making their appearance. We have Seven coming in making her appearance, because I'm not gonna lie, it's in the comment section for the trailer. If I remember the trailer for this, and me and some other people were getting into it, and we were like into a conversation, and we were like, "Yo, why isn't Seven here? Can they put Tia in the game? If you don't know who Tia is, I highly recommend you go play the Hollow Realization DLC." Uh, but we were like, "Hey, where are all these people at? Can these people get a little bit of sunshine? Can these people get a little bit of light?" We got Edgy and Yuna. That's cool or whatever. Edgy was fucking badass in the fucking Ordinal Scale movie. Yuna was pretty fucking cool too. Seven, we've seen her in Lost Song, which honestly she wasn't even that much of a threat, to be honest with you. She was she was. I'm sorry, it's like 8 something. I ain't been asleep yet, so it's like 8 something in the morning. I ain't been asleep since like 2 something yesterday when I woke up. So yeah. But yeah. Anyways, we had Seven in multiple games. It's just, where can we get like Tia and all of them? Like Alice and Yu-Gi-Oh! If you want to count, Excel World versus Sword Art Online, that's 3 games they've been in. They've been in that. They've been in Hollow Realization, and they've been in fucking this game too, Fatal Bullet. And I'm like, well, damn. Can we get some more people, please? Can we get Tia from there? I mean, y'all pull Premiere over. I feel like Tia shouldn't be that big of a jump on neither. You feel me? Like, I don't want to keep popping in Hollow Realization and be like, "Hey Tia, how's it going? Kind of forgot you existed." Like, you, despite the fact you were clearly the better character of the two between Premiere and you. That's just an opinion, though. That's just my opinion, though. But regardless, it's like, all these other characters y'all could bring in here, but you keep bringing Sachi back. Why? Like, I get it. Sachi, she died. Like, I look. Here's the thing. I don't really give a fuck about Sachi. All right, you were here for one fucking episode. You died in that same episode. I guess, like, if she was still alive, she would be like Kirito's love interest instead of Asuna, but that's cool, whatever. But you did, so we can't make this happen. I know there's an event in Hollow Fragment where Kirito's like pouring his heart out, like, "I'm sorry, I should have done something to save you," despite the fact in that situation there was nothing he could have done to save them. So I'm just like, well, what the fuck, my guy? Like, I get it, you feel guilty about it, but it's like, that guilt ain't gonna take you, but no, that guilt ain't gonna take you far, bro. So yeah, like I said, I just feel as though there's other characters they could have brought in, But bringing Sachi back, and not just bringing her back, but making her the main focus for this, I'm like, there was nothing else I could have done. Nothing at all. So, yeah. So, to be fair with y'all, this, from here leading into the new year, Sword Art Online is either going to be banking with both its game and Alicization, or Alicization is going to drop the fucking ball and the game's going to pick up the slack, or they're both going to fucking fail. I just don't see both making it, right? It's one or the other or both fail. I don't see both of them being successful in the end. I more so see Alicization shooting through the charts for Sword Art, shooting Sword Art Online through the charts, and then you turn around and then it's like Fatal Bullet, not so much. This shit is just dying off. It's like everybody's looking at it and you're like, yeah, Fatal Bullet. Ooh, shit, what was Fatal Bullet again? Like that's how I see Fatal Bullet. It's like it's not one of like I'm not saying it's not a good game, but I'm saying this DLC wise, use some shit compared to Hollow Realization, which gave us, numerous areas and weapons and new events and characters that were interesting. And it's like, you play Fatal, but it's like, you got three shit DLCs and an expansion. Like, you got three shit DLCs, all which offer, how do I put this? You have three shit DLCs. The first one was like, okay, your introduction. You really weren't expecting much, you know your second one put in day one content, or at least what I feel like should have been day one content. And then your third one left us on a cliffhanger for a story in which your expansion pack will either not touch on or just touch on lazily and just be like, man, fuck it. It is what it is. So that's just me. That's just me. I'm like, it's not looking good. All I'm saying is it's not looking good for Fatal Bullet right now. It's not looking good for when it comes to games. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I gotta say on the topic of Sword Art Online. Alicization is popping. We about to get a new update for Fatal Bullet that's gonna allow a co-op dungeon, if I remember correctly. So if you didn't have a reason to, let me be honest. Let's be fucking honest here. No one plays multiplayer for the later games besides Hollow Fragment. Like Hollow Fragment, I know for a fact from the community I'm in on PlayStation, people still do Hollow Fragment. It comes down to everything else afterwards. Like it'd be rare for you to get a match on Fatal Bullet. It's rare for you to get a match on Fatal. Oh shit! It's rare for you to get a match on Fatal Bullet and Hollow Realization and Lost Song. We're not even gonna talk about that piece of shit. Look, Fatal Bullet may be doing bad, but Lost Song, I still feel like it's the shittiest game in the series. All right, so yeah. With that being said, there's nothing really much more to talk about. Um, I could have made this a video. I thought this was gonna be way longer. It's not. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna end it here. I got nothing else to talk about. That's the whole thing right there. So yeah, looking forward to episode 2 of Alization because that shit, like I said, that first episode was amazing. I'm somewhat, not really, looking forward to Fatal Bullet's expansion pack because I hope it's good. Despite the fact I'm not a fan of Sachi being the main focus of it, it's like despite that, if it's still interesting, it's interesting. Call it what it is. All right, yeah, I hate the fact that this character is the leading, but also this shit tells a riveting fucking story. I'm gonna be like, okay, I got nothing else to say. It's just doing good. So yeah, I'm gone. I will see you all tomorrow with a video, uh, because reasons. But yeah, I'm gonna see you all tomorrow with a video. Just wanted to hop on here and talk about the whole Sword Art Online thing that's been going on because that's fucking interesting. If you haven't checked out the Alization arc first episode, highly recommend it because god damn that shit was amazing. Other than that, I will see you all tomorrow with a new video. Dos Domenia.